Hello and welcome to Fighter Magazine interview with Roger Gracie at the Roger Gracie headquarters in London. What a pleasure to have you on this interview. Thank you very much. And I know your schedule is very busy, so I'll be very respectful of your time. First question I'd like to ask you is, when did you know that you had a special talent for Jiu-Jitsu?
That's a trick question, but I can say when I was a sort of a teenager, after 16 years old, 16, 17, that I really want to be good at Jiu-Jitsu, that I was training, every day, twice a day. That was the moment that I decided to be a professional fighter, to have like Jiu-Jitsu as a big part of my life and to try to be the best fighter I could be. So in that moment, I was really dedicating myself into training. So I was like training every day, twice a day. My nutrition was better. And I just felt my progress was going faster than people training with me. So usually my training partners that they used to win every time we spar, or he used to give me a hard time. I think eventually in just a couple months, suddenly I was better than them. And that progress just carried on going. So I was starting to catch up people that were much better than me. And suddenly, I was able to perform much well. And, that never stopped. So the more I trained, my progress I felt was sort of going faster than people that used to train with me. The very good guys, they used to beat the crap out of me. Train, like the really high black belts, once you're a blue or purple belt, they're already like world champions in the black belt. So suddenly, I'm catching them up even before I was a black belt.
So you mentioned that transition from child to young adult, and I know you have a son. Is it just one son?
And a daughter.
Okay, so do they train?
My son does. My daughter is two, almost 3.
So with your son training, when you look at him training, do you also feel he's just a kid at this point in time? He's not learning too much. He's just playing. He's just finding his feet.
Yeah, like now with my son, I don't really push him to train. I don't care if he's going to be really good at it now. Because as a kid, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's no pressure. A kid has to be a kid, and there's always that fear if you try to push him too hard or try to make him do Jiu-Jitsu now, he will do it because he's a child and you're telling him to do. But maybe later on in his life, it's something that, my father made me do this, so now I don't want it. I think I don't really care, if he's really good or if he's not good. He can be a fighter, he cannot be a fighter. I don't mind, as long as he's happy training, something that he enjoys. So I think that you see other parents, because they want to project in the child, I want him to be a champion, but he's just a child, you cannot force him now. You have to put in his head, maybe if that's something that he would decide to do later, that's awesome, that's great. But with my son, I try to put as least pressure on him as possible. He comes here, a couple times a week. Sometimes I bring him to the kids class. He does, sometimes he doesn't want to do. I don't force him, If he tells me I don't want to go, it's okay. It's fine.
You said you stayed with your uncle in south of Brazil. Which uncle is that?
Helion.
With Helion, yes.
Yeah,
of course.
My uncle Helion.
Now, when you were, who do you feel was your biggest teacher, your number one teacher throughout your
It's my uncle Carlos Gracie Jr. Yeah. He's the one who gave me my black belt. He's the founder of Gracie Barra Academies, and back in Brazil when I was training there in Rio, it was Gracie Barra. Now we have 600 schools all over the world, but back then it was just the main one in Rio, in Brazil. And I always trained with him since I started training with him from 14 years old till I moved here. So in every belt, he was the one who gave me the belts. I had my uncle Helion. He always helped me a lot. My father, of course, always helped me a lot. My uncle Renzo, my cousin Renzo. When I was sort of a brown belt, I used to go a lot to New York to train with him, doing a lot of no-gi. But they always play a big influence in my career, in my techniques, trying to improve my game. But I think Carlos Gracie Jr., he's my main instructor.
Excellent. And did anyone ever say to you, that you weren't good enough, or that you were too skinny, or that you were too weak, or?
No, but I remember being a kid, they didn't used to see me as a champion, being a kid, because I never trained much. I was everything but dedicating to jiu-jitsu. I never had in my mind I would be a champion or jiu-jitsu is my life. I was just a kid playing around and fooling around. And I remember that people used to see me. They didn't used to project me as a champion. Nobody thought I was going to be this good. I heard my uncles telling me that now. They say, man, I could never believe. I would never thought that you were going to be this good, just because maybe back then my technique wasn't great, but I was training, I was getting beat up by all the other kids. But, I think I proved them wrong.
I would say that. Now, Jiu-Jitsu is a huge art. It has gi elements, no gi, competition, self-defense, MMA, loads of things inside. It's strength and conditioning, top game, bottom game, the guard. Was there a part as you were developing that you felt, I really hate this part, I'm really bad at it? Any parts in your development that you felt I'm really, really weak at this?
No, I think fighting itself, there's always some situations that you put yourself in. They're not in a comfortable position. It's easy to be in a strong position and feel strong. It's easy to be have the grips the way you want. But fighting, it's a lot of things involved. Sometimes you're in a bad position, sometimes you're in a good one. So it's in a bad position, never going to be comfortable. You're just going to have to, keep your calm and work your way out of that before you get submitted, or you end up losing the fight. So I think that's if I would choose, of course, there's a lot of bad position, but one is common, is not so bad. There's like half guard, for example. A lot of people, they're comfortable playing the half guard in the bottom, and something that I don't know, I could never feel comfortable in the bottom in the half guard, because it's the type of position that I'm too defensive. The guy is putting too much pressure on you, and it's not a position that you can develop a strong game to overcome your opponent. So it's one that you're constantly under pressure. And for me, I want to put my opponent under pressure all the time, so it's that position I'm not very comfortable.
You have a very beautiful and very successful school, and it's constantly growing. Every time I visit, it's growing. What is the secret to having a successful Jiu-Jitsu school?
I don't think there's a secret to have a successful Jiu-Jitsu school. I think, you try to make the best environment you can. Of course, you create an environment that is safe and welcoming for anyone to come and train. Because if you don't have that, a lot of people, first thing, they don't feel welcome, they leave, especially new people. People who already been training for years, they don't care much. They're people that are used to that environment. But for new people who wants to come in and join a school, they never train anything before. If it's a frightening environment, they're not going to stay. Yeah. You're going to bring your kid to an environment that they don't feel comfortable. So I think once you create a good environment, you have a professional people working with you. You got a clean and bright gym, and as long as you whatever you're teaching, they enjoying. It's a mix of things, But I think if what you're selling is already a good product, that's already easy to. That's 80% of the job done, Because if you really believe in what you're doing, all you need to do now is to create an environment for people. They come in and just feel happy training. Put it all together.
Absolutely.
That's you have it.
Absolutely. Do you have any celebrity students?
I have a few. There's a few famous people that train here, and but I think sometimes the other students they go, they ask to take a picture, not that. But I think in the academy, the sort of environment that everyone is the same. You don't see the other person as different than you. You can be a plumber, you can be a successful lawyer, a very wealthy businessman. You put the gi, you go in the mat. The treatment is exactly the same. It's all about trying to train with each other and see who can overcome the other one. So that's when everyone is equal, is the same. But there's, especially in London, there's quite a few famous people that train here.
Excellent. Where do you keep your medals?
I'm a bad person to be asked that. I have a whole bag full of them. They dust in the corner. I have some trophies, and after years we try. We put some shelves on top to put some trophies and some medals. Now I'm trying to sort of put them in the academy a little bit more, but they've been in my basement in the corner. Therefore,
you must feel that the work towards the medal is more important than the medal itself.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you're happy to win a medal to win, but I think that to have a medal or not is not my concern. I never fought for the medal. It's a recognition for your job in a fight, but that's going. It's part of the past. I'm not a person who cares much. So.
Do you travel a lot?
I travel a lot. I do a lot of seminars all around the world, and sometimes I'm very busy, which at home becomes a problem. But yeah, sometimes I travel a lot.
What do you feel is essential? You have to take with you everywhere you go.
My gi.
Your gi.
My gi, my toothbrush. That's it.
Yeah. Are you fussy with food?
No, I'm pretty relaxed, and I'm not straight. My diet is not extremely strict. Of course, I try to eat healthy, but sometimes you just eat whatever you can in some situations, especially traveling.
Yeah,
it becomes harder.
Right. I have a couple of questions for you. What makes you really angry?
It's a difficult question, but I think losing what makes me the most angry. I hate losing more than I like winning.
In the bullpen, just before they go out and start competing, when they're warming up, do jiu-jitsu fighters try to psych each other out? Or does that not exist? You see it in a lot of other sports.
Yeah. Maybe in jiu-jitsu not much, because especially if you fight in a big tournament, sometimes on your division, it can be up to 70 people. So you cannot, size each other up. I think towards the end, semi-final, final, that you already know who you might be fighting. Then you see them paying attention in the other fights, try to see his style, so when you fight, you have a better strategy against that person. But I think that's sort of an intimidation that I don't think there's that much.
And when you compete, do you create strategies for your opponents, or do you just think about what you want to do?
Most of the times I think about what I want to do, and you try some basic strategy. The guy is amazing standing up, so I'm not gonna stand up with him, pull him to the ground straight away. Or the guy has an amazing guard. If I'm being insecure, being on top of him, I'll try to get him into my guard first. So those sort of things. But apart from that, it's very hard to plan a set strategy for a fight. I'll do my game. I'm just gonna play whatever I'm good at it and let them worry about it.
Roger, what do you want to be remembered for?
I think, when I was very young, when I was really starting to train jiu-jitsu, that I decided, I want to be the best fighter in the world. And I don't think it's not even a matter of being remembered. I think it's achieving something that you decided to do, and knowing that you were able to do it. There's no frustration. Then I spent my whole life trying to achieve something, then I'm gonna go to my grave without it. So I think as a fighter, I'm happy with what I achieve. I don't really care if people remember, if they see the way that things happen, the way that I see. I think as long as I'm happy, I'm comfortable with what I did and the way my life went, I don't care about other people.
It's very calm. Last question. What do you feel is the most influential aspect of jiu-jitsu to you?
It's the mindset. That's what makes a big difference between the fighters, because if you train hard, anyone will learn. It might take longer for him than for you, but if you implement training itself, you can both achieve the same goal. So what makes a big difference is the mindset of a fighter. That's what really takes him apart from others.
Excellent. And on that note, I would like to thank you for your time and for your hospitality, for having us here.
My pleasure.
And I've been Liam Wandi and interviewing for Fighter Magazine. Thank you very much. Good? Happy?
Yeah, okay.
Very happy.